What does a media outlet like DJ Mag actually look for in a story?
Oh, wow. Well, there's got to be something. There's got to be something interesting there, really. I mean, sometimes it is interesting enough that a cool artist has got a new album out or something. It can just be as simple as that. But then it could be someone's doing a certain sort of initiative to do with they've started up their own environmental charity, or you know, it can be anything really. It's just got to sort of prick the interest of our team, I guess. That it's hard to define in terms of, you know, putting your finger on the actual thing, because until it comes along. But you know, I suppose it's something what we've tried to do in the magazine in recent years is have less features where it's just, oh, so and so's got a new artist album, here's a full page feature about them and their album, and have more kind of theme based features as well about issues and or, you know, things that come up in DJ culture, technology, etc., etc. So yeah, maybe that's been a big thing, I suppose, since I've been editor. We've kind of moved away from a bit just having endless kind of essentially profiles of DJs and making it more of a mixed up mishmash of stuff across the spectrum.
And does an artist need to have or take on a publicist to get their story out there, or is it something that an artist could potentially do by themselves?
Some artists do it by themselves, absolutely. And yeah, in case people don't know, there's in the music industry, there's a whole raft of PR people, publicists, who quite often, if someone has got a new album or EP coming out, they'll employ a publicist for 3 months to help them promote it, to get some press coverage and you know, premieres or whatever it is, and that the PR person can help facilitate the interview, the trip, whatever it is, with the music journalist. And so sometimes it is good and nice to have a PR person involved, because some artists can be a bit slack as well about if you're waiting for them to come back to you and they're, you know, lost in the studio or whatever, the PR person will be kicking them up the ass saying, oh, you're meant to be getting this thing back to DJ Mag or whatever. But it's not essential. We do stuff with people who haven't got a PR person. They might just independently send us their new album or track or whatever, or hit people up personally, and that works as well sometimes. But it can be good. I suppose it's a bit like having your track pressed on vinyl. It's the fact that you're employing a PR person probably means that you are taking your art quite seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the case that an artist does want to send them their story or their new album, how should they pitch to a media outlet like DJ Mag effectively?
I mean, we have our emails in the front of the magazine kind of thing, and also online. But in terms of the approach, the thing that I suppose does get people's goats sometimes is if someone is either too insistent or a bit kind of snarky or rude, or entitled, should we say, and or perhaps even pushy. That's what you want the PR person to be doing on your behalf. You want the PR person to be a bit pushy. If it's the artist, it can go either way, really. I think. But yeah, I suppose in terms of what you present in an email, probably you don't want someone's life story, so you have to read like 27 pages of an email to get to the point.
Get straight and clear and to the point. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I've got.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And obviously, yeah, a bit of a if you're not an artist known to us or whatever, then a bit of a biog perhaps a photo. I think maybe we'll talk about having a press kit a bit later on, but
yes.
But yeah, it's important to get the essential bits of info in, like a SoundCloud link to your album, or download link, or or that sort of thing, because we're not, just because someone emails us, we're not going to automatically put them in the Mac.
Yeah,
You know, we like to listen to the music first
of course,
and
of
kind of
course.
make decisions from there.
For those that don't know, can you explain a little bit about how the relationship works between a publicist, a journalist, and an artist?
Yeah, so all these PRs who are out there, they'll send editors and music journalists a press release, essentially, of a campaign they're working on, which is promoting somebody's new artist album, say, and they'll send probably a blanket email out to everyone, and then perhaps follow up and say, oh, did you get a chance to listen to so and so's album yet? If so, do you want to do something with them? Do you want to give them some sort of coverage in some way? La la la. And so the artist has employed this publicist to try and get media coverage on their behalf. The publicist is then the person who harasses the music journalists or whatever, and maybe or maybe not, some coverage comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the PR is the person who sort of tries to smooth the way for some sort of coverage to happen, to facilitate it.
Mm-hmm. So really the publicist is kind of like the middle person, kind of the connection between the journalist and the artist.
Yeah. And especially on trips as well, it can be, because you might be going to a festival and then interviewing and watching someone's set and then interviewing them afterwards or something, and in the mayhem of a festival, it might all get a bit chaotic, and the PR person is going to be the person who sort of rounds up the artist and says, oh look, it's time for your
time to go
with, let's find a quiet space and blah blah. And yeah, it's essentially helping facilitate media coverage.